Hello, this is. Wait, where is this?
You're at Van's lab.
I know it is Vans, but I forgot our name. Nobody knows me.
Hello, everybody. This is the Storm Commander Luigi once again back to you to bring you yet another deck profile. Today we have Brandon here presenting his Shirayuki Murakumo deck.
No, don't say it like that. Say the full name. Fancy's Pedal Storm Shirayuki.
All right.
Respect her.
All right. All right.
No, seriously, respect her. You see her? This is gorgeous. This is very gorgeous. Zangy, I don't mess with.
I never know.
But regardless.
Oh, God.
Okay, that's not something you put on
All
YouTube.
righty.
That's not something you put on YouTube. They gonna copyright our shit.
Before shaking that ass on YouTube.
I don't know why. But anyway.
Gentlemen, let's stay on task here.
Yes, let's stay on task because I don't want to make this another too long. But hello, my name's Brandon. I am playing with Murakumo. Funny thing is, I'm mainly a Bermuda, a Neo-Nectar, and Angel Feather player. But that
Play
was
the Cecilia.
Anyway, that was my deck in the G era, and it's about to be my standard deck. Well, except for Neo-Nectar, Bermuda's about to be my baby, and I might also be targeted for hate.
Countercharge.
Yeah.
And probably
The fact that you have access to 6 gift markers, you're going to wind up getting all the hate.
pretty much. But
abuse their new gift.
He's not wrong.
okay, Ace. Regardless, let's get into the deck profile and my. Well, I will first tell you what my goal is in this entire deck. Hey, make your Vanguard 0 and you cry. That is your goal.
That sounds about right.
Pretty much.
Begin.
But yeah. But I'm gonna
Grade
start-
3s. Start.
Alright, first things first. You need, without a doubt, 4 Shirayukis. Skill. Oh, sorry.
This shit right here. Bermuda Triangle, bro.
What happened?
Talk about it. I'm still gonna probably get straight out this. Go.
Anyway,
Still rolling.
Y'all might
I
well
know.
start over.
Please forgive us. We are insanely goofy for reasons all the way known.
Anyway, this is Federal, but god dang it, Fancy Pedal Storm Shirayuki. You will need 4 of this. Her skill is basically when placed on Van or Guard. You Soul Blast
Or rear.
2. Oh, or rear. You Soul Blast 2, you -5. However, if she is in the Guard circle or in the Vanguard circle, that is a -10. If you were to go first, push for damage. I will explain later for some shenanigans that later in my deck. Also, she has a very good skill. If your opponent decides to PG, you will get another one back from your drop. That is a +1 if your opponent decides to perfect guard or completely block it. But she is a pretty good card. There is some other card that support her, which I will get into in a minute. But for her is a mandatory. Next grade 3, you run Stealth Free. Okay, hold on. Stealth Free Savan.
Surveillant.
See, I'm not good with names. Forgive me, people.
That's
But
all
regardless,
right. I will help thee. We have Stealth Fiend Morate Surveillant.
Basically, what he does is, if your opponent doesn't hit and you got 3 or more rear guards on your rear circle, which most likely you will counterblast. Search for a copy of any one of your units that is also on the field. For Shirayuki, if you have not yet searched for her or have at least 4 of them in your hand, soul, or drop, he would be a godsend for searching for anything you need. Or if you fight against a control deck, you can search for a unit that you know is going to die. That is the fate of a cell. But regardless,
Non-comedy is still a thing, though.
pretty much. But god dang it. But in any case, Murakumo, this is basically a +1 regardless. Oh, now this one, you can run 3.
Musashi!
Yes. But you can run 3. I run 2 mainly because this guy made me give me a +1. But regardless, Musashi, you want him there to push for numbers. And if your opponent's Vanguard is at a negative, they will have to still block over for him. You want that pesky heal out of your hand? Well, they gonna have to drop that and something else. If you drop a PG, that is 3 cards out their hand. So push for that 5 damage.
Twin swords from Musashi.
Pretty much. Now, if you do ride him, I apologize.
He said if you do ride him,
All right. Let's start with the grade 2s. All right. This one is Strip Archer Fushimi, yes. But he had a basic skill. When placed on van or rear, you choose one of your units, it gets the ability to attack a unit in the back. So if your opponent was to be like Royal Paladins, which they are known for dropping hands in the field, this would most likely be kind of useful to you.
Blasters is also about to be a thing, and then not to also mention Messianic Lord Blaster can just be like.
Okay, conversation cut. We ain't got nothing to talk about. Let's continue. Anyway, let's continue. Also, another skill that you have, Van or Rear. If you have 4 or more rear guards, he gets 5. This is a pretty good card, especially for Force clans, because of the fact that even the grade 4s, even at 14, you put it in the cell marker, it can still touch. But
he's quite true.
But also, the thing is, we are trying to make sure your opponent's Vanguard power is at 0. You will see the nonsense in a minute. Regardless. Next grade 2 that you would want to run. Now, just so y'all know, hand is a problem. You're going to have to deal with it. But this unit here, this is what you basically want to do. If you have Shirayuki, I will explain the combo even more. But if you want Shirayuki, the first thing you're going to do is make some sacrifice for your hand. And this guy, even though most Murakumo players don't run it, I know they don't run it as Zabaku's build, but you discard a card, you check top 2, you add a card into your hand, you drop the other. But the thing that I like about this card is, chances are you're going to try to check the first 2 cards would probably be a Shirayuki. If not, a card you can add into your hand for uses. Plus, since your Vanguard since your opponent's Vanguard would be at 0, him being in a cell mark or a rear guard circle, he still would be able to touch, regardless of the situations.
How does that help? How does that help you solve the problems with some Excel clans struggling to build their advantage? Because not a whole.
Okay, I will get into the strategy later, but let's go to the next grade.
Okay.
All right, this one here, I cannot unsee what my friend told me about this card, but I'm gonna keep it to myself for YouTube's sake. Anyway, you want 4, no less. I wish you could add more, but you need her specifically. The thing that I don't like about it is the fact she's not advanced skill, but that's fine. As a rear, if you are fighting against a Force clan, they will always have that 10k guard rear guard. 10k Vanguard all the time. If you want to search for Shirayuki, or at least thin out your deck for Shirayukis, you call her out in the rear guard circle. Preferably, you would want to call her at least until after you ride a 3. Because most likely, your opponent will most likely try to take it, which is something you can probably bait out. But if they read the card and they say they need to, if it doesn't hit, you won't be able to plus. But in this deck, it's all about trickery of the mind. Make it to where if your opponent is going to drop something, make sure it's something that they are going to waste cards for. If they don't waste cards or out their hand, they take a damage. It's basically a win-win situation with her. And another thing that y'all would probably have to accept, she will die. That is no guarantee of safety for her. She will die.
How does she promote the synergy within the deck?
Oh, right. There was something else I forgot to mention. Okay. Oh, there was one more thing I forgot to mention. Huh? Oh, well, what? I'm sorry.
Okay. How does she promote synergy within the deck?
Oh, she worked with Shirayuki. Mainly, when she doesn't hit, you check top 7, you add 2 Shirayukis from the top 7 and add into your hand, and if you do, you discard one of them. You will want some of your Shirayukis in a drop zone, because you will be able to grab them based off the regular Shirayuki and the grade 1 in the deck that I was about to show you.
Alright.
But mostly, if it's possible, make sure you have a Shirayuki in your drop. Chances are you will be able to get it back. But let's go to the grade 1s.
Grade uno.
Now, this one, since Counterblast is not an issue because I don't run Zanbaku, I'm not that Mech player. I am not that hateful dude that would like to keep your Vanguard at 0. Would keep your Vanguard at rested. I am that person that would make you suffer. But regardless, Million Rat. Let me tell you a funny story.
It's the Million Rat.
Pretty much. But Million Rat, simple and effective. You just call another copy of him if you don't have him on van or rear. And another thing that I like about this card is the fact that it is an early game type rush. You can have 2 of him already on the field and thin out your deck even more of cards that you technically don't need. Another thing that I like about this guy is the fact that if you ride Shirayuki and you -10, you have a rear guard swinging for 4,000. Sink that in for a minute. You have a rear guard.
4K rear that is poking at either a 2K or 3K van.
Or 0.
Force and Excel, respectively.
Pretty much. So, in other words, he's pretty good where he's at. Now, you get him over 15, that means they gotta waste more cards. Or heal. Just fuck heals. Regardless. Alright. Let's go to the... Oh, okay. Let's go to the next grade 3. This one I personally like.
One you mean? One you mean? You said grade 3.
Oh, grade 1. Yes. Grade 1. But here is the madam. And this one is the reason why I also say that you will want to have your Shiryukis in the drop. This is a free soul charge, even if you place it down onto the field. And that's the attacker. If it doesn't hit, go into soul, add a Shirayuki into your hand. And if you don't have Shirayuki in your hand, because of the cost, you can still put it into the soul. The thing about with Murakumo, you want to have as much soul as possible. And I'm going to get further into that in a minute. But regardless, she's a very necessary unit. That and the Jujuku Girl. Which also I forgot to mention, that if the Jujuku Girl does not add a grade 3 Shirayuki into your hand, you soul charge. That is a free soul charge right there, if your opponent doesn't let you hit. Now, this one, y'all can put down to 2. The only reason I put her in here is because technically my deck, it shuffles a lot. Murakumo, when you're searching for something, or when you use a Shizuku Girl, you will shuffle a lot. But if you had some triggers, what would you do with them? Well, this guy right here. Even though your opponent's Vanguard gonna sometimes be at 0. This swinging with a trigger and this would be 12. Regardless, it's not really that much. However, go to the bottom of the deck, you choose 2 units, they get 5. For most of your grade 1s, they will get power also. You can give them 5. They would be swinging for 23. That would also be a favorable position for you going forward. If you wasn't around Shirayuki, you know for a fact that your unit would still be able to touch even when your opponent got a trigger. There's also another thing that I like. You can put him down to 2. That is an option. Because the other guy, that I'm about to show you, now, I put him at 2 mainly because I thought Counterblast was going to be a reason. I was a fool. None of my shit actually Counterblast. I'm going to probably bump him up to 3 to 4. But you will want to have him on a rear guard circle in the back. This is also another trickery that you can think about. I would say this to Murakami, but they just gonna do some crazy stuff any goddamn way.
They will bind the crap out of this rear guard.
Pretty much.
You hear that, Murakami players? Bind this mofo if you catch him in the front row.
But here's the thing that I like about this card. You set him in the back, he has changed position with an additional rear circle. You have him in the back, you have another swing. Basically, if you swing with a damn rear guard, I wasn't gonna say Aquaforce, but anyone who pops shit in the front, you would want to bait this
Kagero doesn't care.
I know they don't.
They
but
just
still,
gonna kill this on the spot.
Pretty much. But in any case, you have this in the back. You counterblast. You swap position with either with another unit. Another thing I like about this and how triggers work You can legit give him 10,000 in the back row and just sit there. And then when you swing your rear guard in your cell circle, you can switch positions. You're swinging for 20.
This is a
28.
better trident shooter. I'm kind of mad at that.
Pretty much. But it's a grade 1. It is pretty good.
Trident shoot, for those that do not know, Trident shooter is a grade 2 Aqua Force unit where you counterblast 1, soul blast 1 at the end of the battle that this unit on an additional rear circle. Sorry to be off subject here, but just to drop a little knowledge. Attacked, you may pay the cost. If you do, exchange the position of this unit with another one of your rear guards.
Pretty much. But yeah, this unit, you can run a 3 or a 4 up because he is pretty goddamn good.
I'm kind of mad at that.
But currently, I'm gonna probably up him by 1.
A
All right,
little upset.
now for triggers. Look at me, people. Look at me. If you play Zanbaku, I understand y'all want to run front triggers. But in Shizuku, you don't need those. You need crits. And the only reason I have these front triggers right now that I'm about to show you is mainly because. But let me tell you this right now. Oh, sorry. Let me tell you this right now. You need 7 crits. No more and no less. This front trigger is just basically here. I didn't really replace them yet. But you need 7. I would tell you, you want your attack, if your opponent get a trigger, you want to make sure that most of your cards, it will be able to touch the van, but at the same time, you don't want certain cards to hit. And this right here, it would mess you up. If your opponent's at 5 damage, that's fine. But you really want to pressure your opponent to 5 damage. But I will get more into that in a minute.
But also, hang on, question. If your opponent's at 4 or 5 damage, if we remember the old slipping of Murakumo here, back when they had Shadow Stitch, Murakumo kind of put things into perspective. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. If the attack hit, that's a damage. If the attack doesn't hit, that's even more plussing. So doesn't this go in line with what Murakumo used to do back then?
Pretty much. So here's the thing though. You have a minus Vanguard who most likely going to be a 0, and your opponent has to drop cards. But I will get into that in a moment. But yeah, they are going to the shadow shows. But regardless, you need 7 crits. Look at me. You need 7. I am not kidding you. This front trigger would mess you up in Shirayuki and you would be mad. So 7 crits. 7.
Come on, Brandon. This is a deck profile. We're not trying to scare our viewers now.
True. 7. Anyway. Anyway, you have 5 draws. Another thing that y'all remember what I said is a cell. You will not draw cards out the building, but you will draw enough to kill your opponent. When their Vanguard is at a 0, it would be fine. Regardless, 5 draws. 4 perfect guards. Alright.
And last but not least, because we need to live,
You need 4 heals. And I will not lie, these heals will pop up more than Shirayuki. You're sick. Anyway. And the Forerunner, Ninja Cat. Demon Cat. Ninja Cat. Alright. But I will give y'all a little bit of a demonstration for how the deck can pretty much run. Okay, what up? Next go round.
cover the combo video next. Right now.
Gotcha. We're gonna do another combo video, but I will explain that in more detail. But y'all have a good day.
All right.
That was lame.
Thank you, Brandon, for presenting your Shirayuki deck in its entirety. As always, leave a like, mash the ever-living daylights out of the like button, and leave us feedback. We take advantage of feedback, and we make more information happen. The more information we have, the more quality content videos that we can bring to the forefront. I said forerun. I made a new word.
Anyway, there you go.
Forerunner. Thank you, Brandon.
Also, the guy you saw in the background, I'm about to fight him because he keeps talking shit about him. Regardless, y'all have a good day.
All
I
right.
ain't talk no noise, but you know I'm goofy. I just had to show my face one time.
All right, thank you, Brandon, for presenting your Shirayuki Deck Profile. Thank y'all once again. This is the Storm Commander from TCG Life. As always, leave a like, subscribe, comment, give us feedback. We appreciate it, we love it, we need it. So until next time, pieces out, deuces.